the borough of Queens, chickens have established a new outpost in the Brooklyn Grange farm, an acre of rooftop farm. A huge oasis of green in the middle of the urban jungle. 75 feet above Northern Boulevard, this agricultural island produces 20 tons of fruit and vegetables every year. Fresh produce that will head to local markets and fine restaurants around New York. The founders of the farm also introduced 12 chickens. A dozen poultry pioneers faced with the challenge of an urban lifestyle. Bradley Fleming is the manager of this unusual farm. Although he came from a traditional farm in the country, Bradley has proved that it's also possible to farm in the biggest city in the U.S.
It's a farm and it's on a roof, big industrial building, and we have another site in Brooklyn that's an acre and a half about, so 2.5 acres total on rooftop space, which is not a lot of ground space in the city, so figured look up and do it on the roof.
As well as supervising agricultural production and managing volunteers, Bradley is also in charge of the chickens. And with a mere 10 inches of soil on the farm, the poultry play an important role.
So we have about a dozen chicks at each farm, all hens, no roosters, and we eat their eggs, which are delicious, good to have around. We sell a few at market. We do use their manure and the compost, and it's good, provides good nitrogen for the soil. It's not a huge input into the farm, but every little bit helps.
In keeping with their urban setting, the Brooklyn Grange chickens are assertive individuals. Tension between the hens can run high, and feeding time brings out the worst. In all chicken coops, especially when there is no rooster, access to food is directly related to a hen's dominance. And right at the bottom of the hierarchy is Wiggy. Her poor status can be seen clearly from the state of her plumage. The front-runners of the flock, Barbara and Grandma, systematically prevent her from getting near the food. Their constant hen-picking has resulted in Wiggy losing all the feathers from her shoulders. This well-named pecking order is one of the characteristics of domestic chickens. And sometimes, to avoid a complicated situation, it's best to fly the coop.
For them, just hanging out in their coop, it's good days when they get to get out and run around and stretch their legs. I always love letting them do that. We had one that flew over the edge, and she made it. She didn't die, but she got away. We didn't catch her, and I heard a few stories about her. People would come and say they saw her around the neighborhood, so I'm sure somebody took her in.
For the last 10 years, chickens have been staking their claim in urban farms around the world. Paris, Tokyo, Los Angeles, Shanghai, all the big cities now lie within their reach. This trend may result in chickens becoming a distinct urban species. Over the last 10,000 years of global domination, chickens have undergone major physical changes. Farmers use selective breeding in order to manipulate the chicken's characteristics. Jean-Claude Periquet is one such breeder. In his farm-cum laboratory, he has been changing the shape of chickens over the last 50 years. He specializes in creating miniature or Bantam versions of French breeds. So far, he's created Bantam versions of 6 major French breeds, covering a broad range of styles and shades. But his masterpiece is an entirely new French breed that he has created from scratch. the Musienne, available in both large and small. Jean-Claude Periquet is currently perfecting his latest creation, a Bantam version of an existing breed, the Bourbourg Grande Race. To do that, he is trying to mate chickens from two different breeds, a Bantam Sussex hen and a Bantam Sunheimer cock. In terms of seduction, the domestic chicken has retained the characteristics of the wild. With its wings held low and its feathers puffed up, the rooster performs a series of circular movements to court the hen. He may also try and display his ability to find food for his love interest. He scratches, backs off, pecks, and crows. The courtship ritual seems to have done the trick. Jean-Claude Periquet's latest Bantam project is off to a good start. Agricultural and aesthetic criteria are not all the breeders look for. Sometimes their work focuses on unseen elements. In Monsieur Periquet's farm, this unassuming-looking Denizli rooster is the crooner of the coop. With a lung-busting 21 seconds, he holds the European record for the longest crow. But far from the pressure of competition, he can sometimes beat his official record. After a short warm-up, he takes a deep breath. He's ready to show the vocally challenged jungle fowl just how it should be done. Yes, he's beaten the European record by 7/100th of a second. Nobody really knows how the Denizli rooster is able to sustain his crow for so long. Some breeders believe they may have a higher lung capacity than normal. Others think the lower, quieter crow uses less air. This vocal talent has little advantage in terms of survival, but he's the Pavarotti of poultry, a nightmare for the neighbors. Like Jean-Claude Periquet, generations of breeders have transformed the original chickens. Beginning with one single type of bird, they have managed to create a multitude of shapes, colors, and crows. Chickens are now more diverse than any other bird on Earth. Nowadays, the number of variations is overwhelming. So breeders have put in place a set of criteria allowing them to classify and grade chickens. Every 3 years, breeders come from all over Europe to take part in a huge show where chickens are judged using these criteria in order to find the best of each breed. With 13,000 animals, 90 judges, 4,000 eggs laid every day, and 6 tons of chicken feed consumed, the European Poultry Show in Metz is one of the biggest chicken coops in the world. 10 hours a day for 2 days, judges from all over Europe check each of the 13,000 roosters and hens for their strengths and weaknesses. It's a huge job. At the end of the show, each judge will have inspected more than 180 chickens. The winning animals will provide the benchmark for the next reproductive season. When the show is over, the birds will return to their coops all over Europe. Some belong to amateur breeders. Others return to farms, where selection is an important part of production.